Fortune 500 CEOs are secretly paying consultants millions to rediscover fragments of an ancient Chinese leadership principle that the Jade Emperor used to rule the heavens for millennia without a single rebellion. This forbidden knowledge reveals why most modern leaders burn out, trying to control everything. While the Emperor maintained absolute authority through wisdom, not force. Stay with us to the end and discover the celestial management secret that transforms stressed controllers into respected authorities. Welcome back to Myth Motivation, where ancient wisdom meets modern success. Today, we're unlocking a leadership secret so powerful that business consultants charge six-figure fees just to teach pieces of it. But you're about to get the complete methodology, straight from the source that inspired it all. High above the mortal realm, in the celestial court where dragons bow and immortals serve, the Jade Emperor faced a crisis that would make any Fortune 500 CEO break into a cold sweat. The heavens were in chaos. Phoenix generals were challenging orders. Dragon kings were forming rebellious alliances. Even the kitchen gods were threatening to quit. Sound familiar? Every leader knows this moment when your authority feels like it's crumbling, when every decision gets questioned, when you're working 18-hour days just to maintain control. But here's where the Jade Emperor did something that modern leadership books completely miss. Instead of tightening his grip, instead of micromanaging every celestial department, instead of demanding blind obedience through fear, the Emperor did the opposite. He called a grand assembly of all heavenly beings and made an announcement that shocked the entire celestial realm. "I am stepping back," he declared. But here's where it gets interesting. The Emperor wasn't abdicating. He wasn't giving up power. He was demonstrating the most sophisticated leadership principle ever conceived, what we now call authority through wisdom transfer. You see, the Jade Emperor understood something that took modern psychology thousands of years to rediscover. True authority doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from empowering others to control themselves through your wisdom. Wait until you hear what happened next. Instead of issuing commands, the Emperor began sharing the deeper principles behind his decisions. When the Dragon King of the East Sea asked why certain territories were managed the way they were, instead of saying, "Because I said so," the Emperor explained the cosmic balance, the long-term consequences, the interconnected systems that mortals couldn't see. He didn't just delegate tasks, he transferred understanding. The Phoenix general who had been questioning military strategies. The Emperor spent 3 days teaching her the celestial art of warfare, showing her how each tactical decision connected to universal harmony. By the end, she wasn't just following orders, she was thinking like the Emperor himself. This is the part that changed everything. Within months, something miraculous happened in the celestial realm. The Emperor found himself working fewer hours, not more. Decisions were being made faster, not slower. And here's the kicker, his authority had never been stronger. Why? Because instead of creating dependent subordinates who needed constant supervision, he had created independent leaders who carried his wisdom within them. The Dragon Kings stopped challenging him because they understood the reasoning behind his decisions. The Phoenix generals stopped questioning orders because they could see the strategic brilliance for themselves. The kitchen gods? They became the most efficient celestial department because they finally understood how their work connected to the greater cosmic order. You won't believe the transformation that followed. The Emperor had discovered what modern neuroscience now confirms. When you share the why behind decisions, you literally rewire people's brains to think strategically rather than just react emotionally. You transform followers into leaders. But the most profound change wasn't in his celestial court, it was in the Emperor himself. No more sleepless nights worrying if his orders were being followed correctly. No more energy drained by constant supervision. No more stress from trying to be everywhere at once. The Emperor had created something every modern leader desperately wants but rarely achieves, a self-managing organization that operates on his principles even when he's not watching. This ancient wisdom reveals something that will transform how you think about leadership forever. The Jade Emperor's secret wasn't about command and control, it was about what we now call consciousness transfer. He didn't just tell people what to do, he taught them how to think like him. He didn't create dependency, he created capability. And here's the part that makes this relevant to your leadership challenges today. The Emperor discovered that the more authority he shared through wisdom, the more authority he actually possessed. It's the ultimate leadership paradox. You gain power by giving it away, but only when you give it away through understanding, not abandonment. The celestial realm thrived for millennia under this system. Rebellions became extinct, productivity soared, innovation flourished. And the Jade Emperor, he became the most revered leader in Chinese mythology, ruling not through fear, but through the kind of respect that makes people want to follow your vision, even when you're not in the room. Here's what Fortune 500 consultants are finally rediscovering. The Jade Emperor's approach works because it addresses the fundamental flaw in most leadership styles. When you lead through control, you create resistance. When you lead through wisdom transfer, you create alignment. Think about your own leadership challenges right now. Are you exhausted from constantly having to make every decision? Frustrated that your team can't seem to operate independently? Stressed because you feel like you have to be everywhere at once? You're experiencing exactly what the Jade Emperor faced before his transformation. The Emperor's methodology breaks down into 3 levels that you can apply immediately. Level 1. Share the why. Instead of just giving orders, explain the strategic thinking behind your decisions. When your team understands the reasoning, they stop questioning your authority and start appreciating your wisdom. This isn't about justifying yourself, it's about transferring your decision-making framework to others. Level 2. Teach the process. Don't just delegate tasks, delegate thinking. Show your team how you analyze problems, how you weigh options, how you consider long-term consequences. You're not creating competitors, you're creating extensions of your strategic mind. Level 3. Empower independent judgment. The ultimate goal is team members who can make decisions you would make, even when you're not there. This happens when they've internalized your principles so deeply that they become their own principles. You can start implementing the Jade Emperor's wisdom today. In your next team meeting, instead of just announcing decisions, walk through your reasoning process. Show them the factors you considered, the trade-offs you weighed, the future scenarios you planned for. Watch what happens. Instead of passive compliance, you'll see active engagement. Instead of constant questions, you'll get strategic input. Instead of dependency, you'll build capability. Ancient Chinese imperial wisdom confirms what modern psychology shows us. People don't resist authority when they understand it, they embrace it. The Jade Emperor created a celestial realm where authority flowed naturally because it was based on wisdom, not force. You have the same opportunity. Every stressed moment of micromanagement, every frustrating instance of having to explain basic decisions, every exhausting day of being the bottleneck in your own organization, these are symptoms of controlling leadership, not wise leadership. The Emperor's secret transforms controlling leaders into respected authorities through one simple shift. Instead of hoarding your decision-making process, you share it. Instead of creating dependence on your presence, you create independence through your principles. The Jade Emperor's greatest achievement wasn't ruling the heavens, it was creating a system that could rule itself through his wisdom. He understood that true leadership legacy isn't built through control, but through the wisdom you transfer to others. You're facing the same choice the Emperor faced. Continue exhausting yourself through control, or multiply your influence through wisdom transfer. The path to respected authority isn't through tighter grip, it's through deeper understanding. Your leadership transformation starts with one question. What wisdom can you share today that will make your team more capable tomorrow? The Jade Emperor ruled the heavens for millennia because he understood that the highest form of authority comes through wisdom, not force. As you build your own leadership legacy, remember that your greatest power lies not in the decisions you make, but in the understanding you transfer. Which approach will you choose? The exhausting path of control, or the empowering path of wisdom transfer? If this ancient Chinese leadership secret resonated with your journey toward respected authority, subscribe for more timeless wisdom that transforms modern challenges. Myth motivation: ancient wisdom for modern times.